In this clip, we're going to delve into complex radial gradients and just have a look how we can really manipulate the gradient annotator for us to achieve really realistic blends. For example, this shape here, just running through the process, I've seen that if we take away, again, if we just zoom into this area on the fully skinned line, and we can see this area, it blends from dark to light. And when we go to obviously the base, it gets a lot deeper. So in essence, a linear gradient wouldn't be able to achieve that curved base gradient that we need. If we just turn everything on now, I'm drawing a very large shape and basically use the radial gradient. Like we said earlier, if we subtract shapes from a radial gradient, we will need to ungroup it so we can edit it with the gradient annotator, which is essential for this part of the process. Okay, so now just click onto the actual shape itself and bring up the gradient annotator. You can actually see the position that we've got it in. And we actually have a look here to the right at the gradient itself. We can see that if we click on this gradient here, we've got the opacity down very low, because that symbolizes this area here. And so, for example, if I put the opacity up to maybe 80, just to show you, you can see it gets a bit darker. I'm going to put that back down to 30% because we want it to fade in at that point, because that's where it fades in on the reference photo. So just to click back on and just give you an example of how the kind of positioning you want to have it. We're just going to take a record of the locations and a record of the colors just to help you, because I feel that this particular gradient is essential for completing the dark contours. And we're actually in the dark contours, not the darkest contour layer, but just to help you along with the process. Okay, so positioning wise, we want very similar. If we look on the outside, we've got the darkest colors there, and we just curved it so it just underlaps like so. So we've got the shadow in. If we go onto our gradient itself, we take a measurement of we've got 5 toggles ultimately. At location 31.5, we'll call it. I've got color measurement green of R80, G139 and B26. And the opacity for that is 30%. The second toggle, and that is location 46.26, we've got measurements of R66, G122 and B10. On the third toggle, which is location 55.23, we've got measurements of R67, G124 and B4, and 60% opacity for that one, and 50% opacity for the one before. And then at location 71.51, we've got measurements of R58, G118 and B1, and that's 100%, and that's location 71.5. And at location 98, we've got measurements of R27, G72 and B5, and that's also 100%. Okay, so that's a look at how you use the gradient annotator to create complex radial gradients. What we shall do in between clips is go on and finish the dark skin contours and the darkest skin contours. And what we shall do in the next clip is review what we've done.